All right, so this is part two. We've gone through the first 1, 2, 3, 4 quotes on the front side of your page. So if you flip to the back, I'll go over the last two real fast. So this one comes right after the last one. So we saw um, Romeo say, I'm going to swear vow by the moon. Juliet says, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon. Don't swear at all. Or if you do swear, swear by yourself, because you're a god to me. And I'll believe you, right? And then Romeo says, if my heart's dear love, dash. There's a dash, and then Juliet cuts him off again and says, well, do not swear. Although I join thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. Right? So she finds happiness in him, but not in what they're promising to each other. Why not? She seemed pretty into it before then. She says, right, their promises, their relationship is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, right? This all happened in the last, like, half hour. And they're already, making pretty bold declarations of love to each other. And that's making her uncomfortable. Like, she has the foresight to realize this is moving really fast. And she has this nice comparison to lightning to point that out. She says that their relationship is too like lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. So if we use our like Shakespearean lingo, which you have this handout somewhere, doth is does, cease to be is just like disappear or stop. Ere is before. So her comparison is our love, our relationship is too much like lightning, which disappears before somebody can say it lightens. So like if you see lightning outside the window, before you can even say anything or like nudge the person next to you and be like, hey, I saw some lightning, it's already gone. So she's worried that their love is too sudden and that it's gonna disappear, that it's gonna end. It's gonna cease to be, right? If their relationship can start so fast, it can end so fast as well. So she's concerned that like, okay, he promises his love, she promises her love, they get married or whatever. What if it just ends as quickly as it started? This is dramatic irony, because we know that it will end almost immediately. But there we are. So then in the text, Romeo says, will you leave me so unsatisfied? Juliet says, well, you're not getting anything tonight. And Romeo makes some more, declarations of love. They exchange for a bit. On literally the next page, despite Juliet saying, basically, this is too fast, maybe we should slow down, please note, it is Juliet who comes back in and says, if that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee. This is one person, right? She's going to send somebody to go talk to him. Who's the person that Juliet seems the closest with so far? We've really only seen her interact with her mom and the nurse. So if we're guessing, she's probably not going to go send her mom to talk to Romeo. It's probably going to be the nurse. But she says, if thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. R-I-T-E is rite, like ceremony. This is marriage, like the marriage ceremony. So she's saying, if your love is honorable, i.e., you don't just want to like, oh god, this is really terrible, but like hit it and quit it, right? If you're honorable in your intentions and you want to marry me, send a message tomorrow. Tell me basically where and when to be there, and we'll get married. So Romeo never gets down on one knee and proposes to Juliet. Juliet basically just says, if you want to marry me, tell me where to show up and I'll do it. So there's not a traditional marriage proposal, number one. Number two, it's Juliet who brings it up in the first place, which is very unlike her. This whole scene so far is unlike what we know of Juliet. What we saw of her before, remember, is her scene with the mom and the nurse, where she was very quiet, very respectful, didn't have a lot of opinions to express. But here, she's changing her mind back and forth. She's making really kind of like smart points, saying that, hey, this might be too fast. But then she's the one that immediately jumps right into, okay, let's get married. She seems really frenzied. She keeps cutting Romeo off. It's clear that she's super affected by him and really kind of swept up in this whole thing, and won't even take her own advice to maybe slow down. So, and if we think, well, she's a woman, well, sort of. She's a girl. She's 13. She's a girl, and she's the one that's proposing marriage or bringing it up. That's also really interesting. So I guess what you can learn from this is, if you're stuck, if you're having trouble, see what words connect, because that can usually give you some direction, and see if there's any patterns, and if you can pick out, again, like keywords, marriage, that people usually can. If you don't know what else she's saying in this, you can only see marriage and be like, oh, she's talking about getting married. And that's decent. So that's all you need. Make sure that you've written your own little summaries, your own explanations in the boxes. I will collect this tomorrow, and if you did not do anything, or people who didn't watch this video and didn't check their work, they're going to be real sad when they don't get points on it. So make sure you do that. We will do our presentations tomorrow once we're back at school. We will begin scene 3. There's one other task for you today other than watching these videos, and that's to look at some of your vocab. I have a short vocab video as well that will walk you through what slides you need to fill out on your vocab notebooks. So that's your next step. Thanks.